flat for the market. The mid-cap index has done well and the advanced decline ratio is looking quite good. Ankit Miglani now joins in, Director of Uttam Galva Steel. Ankit, hi, good morning. First, the obvious question, what's been the impact of this safeguard duty, and has it resulted in any kind of changes in the import-export dynamics?
Hi, thanks for having me. Well, first of all, the safeguard duty has actually been quite a disaster. It has had a counter effect on the market. It's kind of demoralized the market significantly. It was unexpected. It came out quite suddenly. So we have to keep into perspective that the materials that were booked to come into India at October, November, December were already in the pipeline. So they will come anyway. As a result of that, all the importers who had booked this material had to face an additional 20% duty, which was not budgeted for. So it took a significant, all the traders and end users took a significant beating on that, and that has obviously drained out significant working capital from the market. So it's actually been counterproductive as far as the demand situation is concerned. The less the working capital, obviously, the lower the demand. A second aspect is that after the safeguard duty has been announced, the prices of finished products are lower than the prices of the raw materials. So what that means is all the users, traders, everybody is importing finished products instead of importing hot rolled coil. And all those products will hit the market in the next quarter, which is Jan, Feb, March quarter. And that will create another mess in that quarter, and it has significantly distorted the market. To put into perspective, today imported CRCA is probably about 2,000 to 3,000 rupees cheaper than the price of hot rolled coil in India today. And I believe there is significant amount of pipes being imported, and all finished products are being imported in heavy volumes, and that will hit the market next quarter.
So how is this affecting your business?
Well, it has a severely negative effect on our business. It is very difficult for us to sell our finished product because the traders and end users are bringing in cheap Chinese color-coated steel, which we have applied for safeguard duty for, but no action has been taken. It is important to note that the application for safeguard on color-coated was put in before the application for hot rolled coil, and that has still not been put into effect, even though the hot rolled coil duty has already come in.
Okay, now let's talk about your company, Ankit. Any update on the debt situation and the fact that you had applied for 525 refinancing?
Well, in Uttam Galva Steel Limited, we have applied for 525. Fortunately, as per recent RBI guidelines, even ECBs are covered under 525. The reason we had not applied for 525 earlier is because most of our debt is in ECB form. The proposal is currently under appraisal at SBI, and we hope to have some conclusion with SBI within December. If that happens on the timeline that we expect, then by March we should have full financial closure on that, and our next year balance sheet will be significantly better than this year's.
Okay. Are you seeing, maybe an inventory build-up, and because of the imports of finished products which are now taking place in the market, like you mentioned, and hence, is it now becoming maybe a little difficult to service your interest costs?
Well, the inventory build-up I'd like to split up into two aspects. One is that there is no inventory build-up across the supply chain as far as downstream is concerned. The traders, end users, distributors do not have inventories because nobody wants to take a position today. Everyone knows that prices are falling every day. No one wants to hold any stock more than they really have to. In addition to that, there is also a shortage of working capital, so most of the end users can't afford to hold inventories. On the other side, the producers of steel still have heavy inventory stocks. The volume inventory differs from producer to producer, but overall, the inventories are definitely higher than the year ago. Regarding our interest costs, so far we are still in a position to cover our interest costs, and we're able to keep our head outside water. Although October, November, December is definitely the worst quarter that we've seen in a very long time, and is probably the worst quarter that we'll see for a very long time going forward. However, we're still able to sustain right now, and we've put in a lot of effort and a lot of programs within the company to maintain our EBITDA levels so that we can continue to sustain our interest costs. We have about 9,500 people working in the group, and I'm pretty sure that each and every one of them is committed to finding innovative ways to improve the business plan and to maintain our EBITDA levels.
Okay, that point is taken. Ankit, a word on your export situation. Is there enough demand for your exports? In the past, you had maintained that you want to raise that from 30% to 50%.
Well, what's happened is that a couple of months ago, the US initiated an anti-dumping investigation for all importers focusing on China, India, and a few other countries. Because of that, in October, November, December, our exports have been significantly hit as our volumes to the US have dropped significantly. However, the first preliminary results on the countervailing duty on this investigation have come out, where Uttam Galva has got slapped with a duty of 7.7%, but the Chinese suppliers have been slapped with a duty of 256%. So we see this as a very bullish sign, and we see it opening up a huge gap in the supply-demand situation in the US market. So we think next quarter onwards, our exports should significantly jump to those markets. In addition to that, we have put in a lot of efforts in developing our exports to the Latin American markets, the Middle East and Africa. In spite of a falling market, we have achieved a 250% jump in sales in the Middle East and African regions. So we are quite bullish of our efforts there, in spite of the fact that the market has been falling and there's a severe shortage of currency in the African countries. So we are putting in a lot of effort to compensate for the drop in sales, and I think next quarter all these efforts will show significantly in our results.
Okay, we wish you luck, Ankit. Thank you very much for joining in and giving us all of your candid views. In fact, the stock has moved higher during the conversation that we had with Uttam Galva. The stock is in fact at the high point of the day. But before